Hi Dollar Divas, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing 3 looks with 1 palette. And the palette that I'm going to be using today is a recent Dollar Tree find, an unbelievable Dollar Tree find. It's the Beauty Creations Ringmaster palette. I just tested this out on my channel and y'all, I didn't expect for the quality of this to be as amazing as it is. So I thought it would be fun to do a 3 looks 1 palette with this. I know a lot of you guys are excited about that as well. So if you're returning to my channel, thank you so much for coming back for another video. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Jessica and I'm basically a bargain makeup channel. What I mean by that is I like to do a lot of the same fun content that other beauty channels do. I just like to keep it in the bargain price point, so the closer to $1, the better. I do hope you'll become part of our Dollar Diva family and community here on YouTube. And as always, I will have similar content down below in the description box. That way you can see what we have been doing for the last 6 years or so. So without any further chit chat, let's just go ahead and get into today's video. So look number 1 is going to be a neutral eye look. So this palette here is many bright colors as it does have. It's got this entire row here of neutrals. It's got some other cooler tone neutrals as well. So I'm gonna be a little bit basic here just to show you that if you do get your hands on this palette, you can do a very basic look. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here all over my lid. I used this shade when I tested this palette out, and it was the first shade that I used in this palette, and I was so surprised at how pigmented it was. And I learned a trick some time ago about putting, I'm gonna try not to make, usually I do my eyeshadow before I have the rest of my makeup on, but today I have the rest of my makeup on. But I learned if you put a bunch of powder under your eyes, it helps any fallout kind of brush away a little bit easier. So I'm gonna do it, because you guys know me, I make an absolute mess when I do my eyeshadow. So you can just see, just this bone shade is very, very, very pigmented. 3 look 1 palette videos are kind of notoriously what I call abusive because I'll usually sit down and film and do it all at once. And so I have to do my eye makeup 3 times, which means I have to take it off a couple times as well. So there we go, we get that laid down as a base. I'm just gonna take kind of a fluffy brush. I'm gonna go into that shade right there and just put that on up into my crease. That's a new shade, this one I have not used yet. Very blendable, very, very easy to work with. So you can just see they're going on very, very, very smooth. There we go, very, very, very pleased with that. Now I'm gonna go into the darker shade right here. And I'm gonna start with the same brush. And just kind of start building it up, and then I'll probably concentrate. Okay, I'm gonna get a clean brush and just really blend that. I had some, what do they call them, from Be Pure, Be Color, like eyeshadow guards, and I don't know where I put them. There we go. I think I'm gonna take a more compact brush and go back into that same shade and just really concentrate it just a little bit more on the outer part of the eye. Oh, that did work. See, there was like any fallout that got onto my, under my eyes, got on the powder and just brushed away with the powder. So now of course, I'm gonna go into that shimmer shade right there. The shimmer shades even seem to be really amazing. Flat brush as always. Just gonna pack it on there, and then I'm gonna spray my brush. So best I can tell, this brand is online, and these palettes they don't have on their website anymore, but they still do have a website and totally make makeup products. And I bet this palette here originally was probably in the $16 to $18 range originally. I had a Dollar Diva tell me that this is I think a Spanish owned brand. And yeah, like I said, the company is still in business and still making makeup. That's just really pretty. I'm gonna clean that brush off. You guys probably guessed it. If you know me, I'm gonna go into that lighter shimmer there and put that a little bit more towards the inner part of my eye. Same thing, I'm gonna spray the brush. There we go. There we go. I think the shades are just so beautiful. Just really, really pretty. They're not too dark. They're just nice and rich looking. Okay, so lashes and liner are on, and I'm gonna add some details to finish up look number 1. I'm gonna go underneath with the shade right here. It's the second shade that we use. I'm gonna use what's called a smudger brush. Pack the color on, tap it off real good to not make a mess. If this isn't enough, I might use the darker shade. I may even use the darker shade on the outer part a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit into that darker shade now and just darken up the outer part just a bit more. Here we go. Now I'm gonna put a little inner corner highlight, and I think I'm just gonna go into that first shade right there. I'm just gonna take like a precision brush, really pack that on there, and see if that doesn't give me the brightness I want. I like to also take it up into the inner part of the lid as well. I'm just going to take a little bit of that same shade just on my finger and just pop a little bit under the brow bone. So there we go. There is look number 1. Just a nice neutral eye, a little bit of shimmer, of course. And we got to use 5 more shades in the palette. So very, very, very pleased. So this is look number 1. So now for look number 2, and this is going to be a little bit more colorful. I want to do like kind of like a primary color look. That's very circusy as well. And of course we've got the reds, the yellows, the oranges. We've got that fun red glitter. So yeah, I think I'm going to do something kind of fiery. I'm going to start by putting that matte white kind of all over my lid. A matte white is really good. It'll help the kind of colors pop. That's a really nice quality matte white. Years ago, I could never find a matte white shadow at the drugstore. They just didn't have a lot of stuff, you know, back 20 years ago or so. Maybe a little bit more recently than that, but I remember because I wanted a matte white shadow, I had to get Urban Decay, and I remember that was probably the first high-end thing I ever bought, and it was like only because I couldn't find it, you know, at the drugstore. Okay, so we get that laid down as a base. So I'm gonna start on the inner part of my eye, and I'm gonna start with that yellow, that beautiful bright matte yellow. None of these shades have shade names on them. They do, actually, do they? No. So I'm gonna go into the center, and I'm gonna run this yellow into the crease as well. I used this shade when I tested the palette out. And I may go in a little later after we lay down all the other shadows and really emphasize this a little bit more. And I'm not gonna put it on the whole lid, but just really the inner part and then up into the crease all the way around the eye. So I'm just gonna take a clean brush and just blur that real nice. Clean off that same brush, and of course now I'm gonna go into this orange shade. Kind of a matte orange like that is kind of hard to find in palettes, in my experience. I'm gonna put this towards the middle inner part of the eye. I'm gonna start slowly going from yellow to orange. Oh, I forgot to put some powder under my eyes, and it's just gonna get messier, y'all. I'm gonna take like a smaller brush. I'm gonna go back into that yellow and just kind of blend that line between the orange and the yellow. I want this to be a nice smooth transition. So I'm gonna clean off that same brush, this one we've been using. And there's 2 different reds. This one here is a little bit more like an orangey red. And that one there looks more like a true red. I think I'm just gonna go into the one on the top, the more true red, and just blend it into the orange a little bit. I don't think we need to transition that much. Again, like a matte red is a color you don't see very, very much. I'm gonna clean that off. I'm gonna go back into that orange, kind of brighten that up a bit in the middle. Then I'm gonna take that other little brush and just kind of blend the crease a bit. Go on the left eye. Just cleaned off this brush here. I'm gonna go back into that orange with this one here. I think I wanna concentrate that color a little bit more. That big fluffy brush, just kind of blend the crease. Let me see what it looks like with all this mess under my eye. Sometimes I can't think clearly with a mess. So that's where we are so far. I'm gonna put a little bit of orange on this brush. Tap it off. Just blend up a little bit with a little bit of orange. Okay, so far so good. So I'm gonna put on liner and lashes and we will come back and add some finishing touches to this look. Okay, so lashes and liner are on. And y'all, I picked the wrong day to wear white. I dropped the mascara brush on me and have mascara all over my shirt. But we're real here, so that's neither here nor there. So let's go ahead and add some finishing touches to this look. So my camera wasn't recording. I basically smudged out under my eyes with this shade right here, and then I mixed a little bit of orange, and then I also did a little bit of yellow to diffuse it, and then I did the matte white in my inner corner. We got this really, really bright, bold, kind of fiery look. I don't think I'm gonna put anything under the brow bone because this look has a lot going on. So just another look you can do with this palette. Okay, so now for look number 3. This was the hard one. This is the one where I didn't know which direction I wanted to go. But I think for this one here, I'm gonna kind of dig into some of these cool toned eyeshadows here and show you just a completely different look that you can do. So I think the best color to go into for a base is this one here again, just to lay down the other shadows. This will not be something that we ultimately see. If there was something cooler, if there was one of the other shadows that was light enough, I would do this. But always the purpose of this bottom base color is not so much color as much as it's to give all your other shadows something to glide over. And then it doesn't hurt that it does have a nice little color payoff and kind of creates a nice even canvas of color for your other shadows. These 3 shades here are kind of similar. I think I'm gonna go into this one right here kind of all over my lid. Let me add powder while I am thinking of it. I'm just gonna buff this in. Of course, I'm gonna add shimmer to this look. You know I love shimmer. There we go, that went on really, really nice. I'm just gonna take a clean brush and just blend it. And so now I'm just gonna try to go very lightly into this like matte black shade here. It's gonna get like a little hint of shimmer. I'm really wanting to go very light here. I don't wanna go completely overboard. I'm just gonna go to a very light hand and then really just try to buff it in. Clean brush, I'm just gonna really blend. Now I'm gonna clean off that brush. I'm gonna go into this shade right here. I'm just gonna go right up to my crease, mainly on the outer 2/3 of my lid. I think this will kind of balance it just a little bit more. So now I want to add some shimmer. And we've got some different ones here kind of in this tone. Definitely probably use that lighter one. Question is if I want to use a darker one or not. Do I want to use the ones that are more gray or the ones that are a little bit more plum is the other question. I may go a little bit more plum. I'm going to go into this one here first. Flat brush. And I'm going to put this towards the middle here. Blend it up into the crease. Now I'm going to go into that lighter shimmer. Gosh, doing these types of videos is messy, y'all. I am making a mess of everywhere, myself, everything. Put this on the inner part and blend it into the other shade. There we go. I think the messiest part is done, so I'm gonna brush the powder off my eyes. So I'm gonna probably add some more shimmer when we come back, but I'm gonna add liner and lashes and we'll be back to finish up this look. Okay, so liner and lashes are on. And I'm definitely gonna smoke out underneath. So I'm gonna smoke out underneath probably with this shade right here, I think will be good. I'm gonna use this brush right here. And just nice, smoke it out real nice. My other one's kind of wet. I've been cleaning it off and reusing it. And this is better with a dry brush, I feel. Okay, now I want to add a little bit more shimmer, y'all. You know, I just can't leave it alone. Might actually go into this shade right here. and just pop a little on my finger. Just put a little bit right in the middle of my lid. I feel like it's just needing like a little something extra, and I don't really quite know what that is. That didn't do a whole lot. Let me add an inner corner highlight first. I'm gonna use that one that's in the top middle. So I'm just gonna use a little tiny brush, put some on. I'm gonna try not to go overboard. There we go, that's really, really nice. I was able to go just subtle enough. It's hard for me to tell whether this is a shimmer or if it is in fact a super fine glitter. It really looks like a super fine glitter. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this as well and go onto the inner part of my eye as well. It's like I'm needing just a little bit of brightness. Then I think I'm gonna take that matte white, just a little bit, and just put a little bit of a under the brown bone highlight. Brush through my brows. There we go. I think this look here is done. Kind of a different color story than I normally do because it's more on the cool tone side. That's the beauty of this palette. You've got some really fun, bright colors, and you've got some cool tones, and you got some warm tone neutrals, and you've got some cool tone neutrals. So really a little something for everybody with this palette. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, hit the like button if you did. And let me know some other looks you would like to see. I know I said to someone I would do a blue look. I didn't get to it today. But let me know if there's any other kinds of looks you'd like to see with this palette in the future. Definitely let me know in the comment section. Go check out my description box and binge watch related content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.